Hello everyone, welcome back to another GreekGiftChess video. I'm Alex,
And I'm Phil.
and today we're going to be showing you guys the two knights defense.
This is the second video in our 5-part attacking opening series. So with this opening, we are going to refry the fried liver attack. I've personally used this defense in dozens of my games, and I've routinely beaten those fried liver Freds with this opening. Players, especially at the rating ranges of around 800 to 1400, they don't really know about this opening, and they think that as soon as you quote-unquote fall for the fried liver, they're just winning. Now we're going to prove them wrong.
So this opening might be called a defense, but we're going to prove to you guys that it's really an attacking opening and that you're going to be winning a lot of games with it. Starting off with e4, e5, the king's pawn opening, really common. And now knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4. We get to an Italian. A lot of beginner players are taught in this position to play bishop to c5. They think that if they play knight f3, their coaches tell them they're going to fall for knight g5 and the fried liver. So they're forced to play bishop c5. And in dozens of tournament games and in tournaments, I've seen knight c3, knight f6, and just boring development like this.
Yeah, I've had a lot of boring games like this.
Exactly, before I taught Phil about the two knights. So in this position, it's really equal. Both players are going to try to put their knights in the middle, and we don't really want to go for this. We want an attacking opening. So we're going to pretend to fall for the fried liver. Now, the fried liver actually follows us for a move, because we're going to play d5, cutting off the diagonal. And the fried liver, after takes and takes, white's going to sack on f7. And after king takes, queen f3. This is a fork.
And white is just losing.
Black is just losing. It's basically
black is just losing, yeah.
Exactly, because we have to go to the middle to defend the knight. After knight c3, let's say we defend with knight b4 and castles. The rook's just going to come to the center. d4 is going to blast open our king, and black is lost. So instead of taking back on d5 with the knight and falling for the fried liver, we're going to play the important move, knight to a5. Exactly. Now, this move threatens white's bishop and forces it to give us a check. So let's say white just plays bishop e3. Well, now here we're happy because takes, knight takes. We gain tempo on the knight, and we're booted back to f3, and we're the one with the center pawn. So white is forced to play bishop e5. Now, this opening is really a gambit, because here we're going to play c6. And after takes and takes, we've lost a pawn. However, white's bishop is going to be in a really awkward place, and we're going to get some nice attacking chess from here.
So the second most common move across all rating ranges on Lichess is actually just a blunder, bishop a4. And this cedes a huge advantage to black, who's just going to proceed to boot that knight out, and once it goes back, seize the initiative with a4, and this
E4.
is just e4, sorry. And this is just a hugely winning position for black. You can even get this juicy tactic really quickly with just winning a minor piece, queen d4,
Exactly.
if they accidentally put their knight on e5.
So here, black is winning on the 10th move. Let's just quickly recap how that happened. We kick the knight out, and after knight f3, e4, white's knight either goes to g1, and we're just winning after bishop c5, or goes to e5, and loses a piece with queen to d4. Now, white could also play knight h3 in this position, and now we play a finesse move. We don't take the knight quite yet. First we play bishop g4, trapping white's queen and forcing f3, and now we take, and play bishop c5.
Here, as you can see, white can't castle, and he's gone from being a fried liver Fred to a split structure Sam.
Exactly. Now, let's take a look at the most common move on Lichess after bc6, which is going to be queen f3. This move is very tricky, and a lot of people aren't ready for it, because they think, well, they're afraid because they can't take on b5 and lose the exchange. Although it is a line, it's a bit too complicated for us, and you can look at it on your own time, but we're going to be covering a much simpler attacking line. So instead of taking on b5, guys, just keep developing. Get ready to castle, boot out the knight, and then eventually you're going to connect your rooks and be able to take on b5. So here, we're actually gaming another pawn. White can just take, and take. We have bishop d7, however. We've gained the bishop pair and have seized the initiative, because in this position, we already have 3 pieces developed, have castled, and have a center space advantage. After white castles, we have a move like knight g4, attacking the knight. And after the knight retreats to its basically only move, because after knight e4, we'll play f5 and get even more space. After knight h3, we sack another pawn with e4 and bishop d6. We have unstoppable threats on the king side, forcing g3 and weakening the light squares, and the computer already says that black is winning.
However, there's also another move really commonly played, and the second most preferred move by masters, which is bishop e2.
So in this position, we're going to play h6, knight f3, and d4. Now, white's knight is essentially trapped, and now is forced to go to the center with knight e5, and we'll play bishop d6. White can defend his knight with d4, and we're going to play everyone's favorite move here, en passant. After knight takes, queen c7. This move stops white from castling and developing, and so after h3, we castle. Now, in this move, we're not going to show you guys any flashy tactic or winning line on the spot.
You'll just have to trust us that you have easy development and a comfortable position.
Exactly. Your active pieces are going to make up for the pawn sack, because if you see, white is going to have a really hard time developing his queen side. So after example, for example, castles, we have a super important move. Please don't forget this move, c5. c5 improves both of your pieces at once and is really a positional move, because now your knight has room to come back, and it also allows us to play c4, and it opens up our light square bishop. We don't really want to develop our bishop on this diagonal, although we can if necessary, because because after we develop it to b7, let me find the position. After we develop it to b7, the position's just going to be better. Now after b3, we can play c4 and get our knight here, and we're just going to put our rooks in the middle and play bishop b7.
So this is actually the most preferred move by masters. In this position, you'll often get bishop d3. It's a bit of an awkward move. Frankly, it's an ugly move, and we're going to show you how to punish it.
So after bishop d3, knight d5. We're getting center control and tempo on the knight. The knight is forced back. Obviously, knight h3, you guys know what to do. Take it, split structure Sam over here. So knight f3, and now bishop d6 is important. We have to defend our center pawn and get ready to castle. A lot of beginners might think, oh, queen e7, I'm going to go for a cheap tactic here. Not only is this not going to work because of moves like knight c3, but just like castles, and after e4, white can really take the pawn. If you take, boom, you just lost your queen. So guys, don't bring out your queen too early in these openings. You have to be patient and develop your pieces. So bishop d6 first. Now, white's most natural move, and maybe even the best move, is going to be castles. But here we're already going to begin our attack with knight to f4. We're attacking white's bishop, and it has no squares to go to. After bishop e4, f5, the bishop is forced back anyways, and e4, e4, and we're already winning a piece. So, after knight to f4, white's best move is really to just put pressure on our center with rook e1, but we'll take, and now, even though we're down a pawn, it's this d3 pawn. It doesn't really count as a pawn. It's a double isolated pawn structure, and I will just castle and have a comfortable game with the same idea of c5, bishop c6, and we can even transfer our knight over here to the d4 square. This is now an outpost square, and it's going to give us a really good positional bind over white's center. So, Phil and I looked at this position and agreed that a natural move here is just bishop e2. White might think, okay, I'm going to play d3 or d4, kick out black's knight, and just go on with my development.
Looks like our initiative is just vanishing, but here we have an insane move, knight takes g2, and here the sacrifice, well, we'll show you why it's good.
Exactly. 99% of Lichess games in this position go king g2, which is a big blunder, and black just wins. Now the best move is knight c3, but we're still winning after knight h4. We just retreat the knight, and let's say white takes and takes. Material is equal, but you cannot say that this position is equal because of our insane pressure on these diagonals, and we're just going to castle, and black's already winning.
Life is good. We have a huge attack.
Exactly. But it's almost certain that white's going to say, oh, you just sacked a knight for nothing. I'm going to take. And now we play the absolutely crucial move, e4. So, most natural move in this position is to get a check on the king, and maybe you're looking for queen g5. Don't blunder this move, guys. You have to be patient with your queen moves in the opening. You can't just fall to knight g5. So you play e4. This makes the knight move and gives us the g5 square for our queen. And so after a move like knight e1, we'll get queen g5, let's say king h1, queen f4. Unstoppable mate, and we're winning with black in 16 moves. Now another move is going to be bishop g4 here, blocking our check. And now we can just take, materials equal, but after f3, let's say, trying to save the queen, we'll take on f3, check on h4, check on c5, force white to block with d4, and the stunning knight to c4 checkmate.
This is absolutely savage. We just wanted to show you guys this, not as a line you'll definitely get, but as an example of how the attack can unfold and how you can get insane checkmates with this opening if your opponent isn't careful.
So this was part 2 of our 5-part series. We hope you guys stay tuned for the rest of them. Please Like and subscribe if you want to see more of this content. That'll mean a lot to us. And for now, this is Alex
And Phil.
signing off. We'll see you guys in the next one.